Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so this video is going to be about be careful of or just don't listen to people who are constantly, what's the word hold on a second. Okay, be careful of when people tell you that this means that, because a lot of times this doesn't mean that. They're just making it up. Like, okay, I'm holding a lemon in my hand and that means you're listening to me now. It doesn't necessarily mean you're listening to me now. It just means I'm holding a lemon. But people do that all the time. Okay, one of the shifts that I've made recently in the last year or so is when I'm on YouTube and I'm going through shorts, just, listening to things, is you hear all this, I'm going to use the word BS. And a lot of times you just blindly accept it. Now I'm like, yeah, that's not true. I just scroll right past it now. So there's this short where this guy, he says, for people who have eyes that change color based on their mood, watch out because they have volcanic emotions and they're all over the place. And he started going on how their emotions rule them and all this stuff. Well, I thought, yeah, well, my eyes color change, especially when I get into different lighting. So when I'm inside, they look one way, but when I get into the sun, they get really, really blue. If the sky's cloudy, they get really kind of a really nice dark charcoal gray. So essentially my eyes can go from green to light blue to really deep blue to charcoal gray, and I think that's it for now. I think at one point they were like an almond color with little, I don't know, like someone said that one time, which I'd never heard before. But one thing I do know is depending on the lighting and probably the clouds, my eyes do change color and my emotions don't change at all. Another thing I found out from a neighbor a while back is I have really, really crystal clear blue eyes, and I had no idea because when I look in the mirror, but again I'm inside under false lighting, is they just look kind of like a dark grayish, with different flecks of colors in it. So to me, I never noticed how blue they were, but I've heard this from people. But one person really pointed this out. Well, that's why people stare at you. Your eyes are just crystal clear blue. I'm like, really, me? And I think she showed me a picture of someone. She thinks she pulled up. She goes, that's what your eyes look like. I go, my eyes look like that. She goes, yeah. So I've never seen it, but I've heard it from quite a few people. So it's part of the lesson. Now let's go into the next part, based on the same thing essentially, not the eyes. So I was in NLP training. I think it was the end of the Master Practitioner course that we were taking. So we'd been in training for probably 5 weeks at this point, and John Overdurf, he was with the trainer up on stage at the time. So he said, there's one thing we have to warn you about. When you do therapy with people or coaching with people, there's going to be a phenomenon that you are going to go through. And in the beginning, it's going to discombobulate you. It's going to kind of, I don't remember the word. I know what word I want to use, but it's got a bad word to it. So it's going to mess with your mind. And I was like, okay, well, what's this? And he goes, you're going to have a client come in and they are going to accuse you of something that you've never heard in your life. No one has ever said this to you. They're going to be so congruent, so convincing that you're going to walk away going, wow. Oops, sorry. So you're going to walk away being like, wow, I had no idea about this. And they'll convince you. And then what happens is about a week later, maybe 2 weeks, you get another client and they walk in the door and they'll say the complete opposite, and they'll be very congruent and they'll be so convincing you'll believe it. But now you're going to be like, well, which one is it? Am I good or am I bad? Am I right or am I wrong? It could be, let's say someone is like, man, you're really, really intense. You're a little bit too much for me, man. But then the next person says, man, you're like so mellow, like kind of pick it up a little bit, buddy. Or something like that. Or they could accuse you of doing something mean or bad or wrong. They say, oh, you're a really mean person. The next one's like, man, you are like the nicest person in the world. Or it could be, man, you're really you have a lot of worry or anxiety, huh? And then the next client's like, man, you don't worry about anything at all, do you? So he said, your brain is going to flip-flop in it. And so you're going to kind of get confused, and I want to use a bad word because I can't find the words he was using, but it's going to screw with your head. And I remember thinking, nah, that's not going to bother me. Oh, it did. Because here's the thing, I forgot about it, and it was about, I don't know, a month later, not a month later, about 6 months, maybe a year later, and this started to happen. Every now and then the client would just like say something really intense. It wouldn't back down. I'm like, no, I'm not like that. And then, when they left, I'm like, man, am I like that? And I'd start asking my friends, like, hey, man, am I? And they're like, no, who told you that? So then the next client came in and flip-flopped and did the opposite. And this went on for a while, but here's the really cool thing. I became really clear of something they had taught us. Now, you got to understand, I was a really young guy. I was probably like 24, 25 years old when I started my practice, maybe even younger. And there's something called projection. People are almost, unless you're really, really trained the way I am in NLP, energy healing, consciousness work, meditation, most people project the shit out of themselves onto everyone around them. And here's the thing, they really, 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 really believe it. Now, this happened in my everyday life too. It's like people would get mad at me and I'm just standing here. What's going on? What are you at? Oh, you this and that. No, I never did that. Oh, yeah. And they would accuse you of stuff. They'd blame you for stuff. And here's the thing, they really believe it. You would have these arguments and yelling and screaming matches. Well, here's what's going on. I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am. That was one of the greatest lessons I had ever realized in my life. It was way before. I just found this today, by the way, this image. And I started to look at people differently. It really helped me go, man, because here's what happened. People will ping pong you. Because your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, your neighbors, your coworkers, your friends, your buddies, your classmates, everyone views you the way they are. This was one of the biggest, most freeing, sorry for my English, I can't find the right words, the biggest, most freeing realization of my life. I started looking back on decades of people getting mad at me or saying you're this bad person or you're this. And I started going, they weren't talking about me. They were talking about themselves. This is who they see. This is what's inside their mind because this is what's inside them. And that right there is what you need to understand. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you at all. So I've had a couple girlfriends, and someone pointed this out to me in my probably early 20s. And so my high school girlfriend would accuse me of cheating on her, and I was so in love with her. It was unbelievable. I had nothing but eyes for her. I didn't even see any other girls. I mean, I was oblivious. And she kept accusing, what? Where is this coming from? And finally, I broke it down. So when do I have the chance to do this? I'm at work from this time to this time. I'm in school from this time to this time. I'm in a football or wrestling practice from this time to this time. And when I'm not there, I'm with you. So and she started to laugh, going, "Oh yeah, that's right, huh?" I had a non-stop round-the-clock schedule. Well, my cousin had told me he had caught her cheating on me, etc., which I didn't believe it because I just couldn't imagine that. Now listen, what am I sharing? I'm sharing me right now. In a million years, I wouldn't believe that. And I got mad at him. I yelled at him. And he kept coming up. He said, Mike, I'm telling you, when you go to practice, blah, 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 blah. And he would tell the guys at school, too. He just blurted out in front of everybody. And I'm like, Jamie, why are you always stirring up the pot? He's like, Mike, I'm not lying. And, well, I found out the hard way. I came home early more than one time and caught her. And so a friend of mine said, he goes, didn't you know that when someone's accusing you of cheating, and if you're not doing it, it means they're the ones doing it? Kind of like a guilt trip, they're so guilty of what they're doing, they blame you, they project it onto you. Now, my girlfriend in my 20s did the same thing, and out of the blue, when I thought we were madly head over heels in love, at least I was, she started to accuse me of this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it was the same thing. I had a job. I was going to college. I was on the kickboxing team. And she was at my house every night. And I'm like, when the hell do I have a goddamn chance to cheat on you? Blah. And I'm just because she kept accusing me of, well, it turns out she'd been cheating on me big time. And when I caught her, you know what she said? She goes, well, if I'm cheating you this much, you must be cheating on me twice as much. So that's the way they think because that's the way they are. Now, what did I think? I protected, I defended my high school girl. I go, there's no way and I literally, this didn't happen just one time. This went on for like a month or two. And I kept telling him, like, dude, there's no way in a million years she would do that. So what am I sharing? Am I sharing who she is, or am I sharing who I am? I'm just sharing who I am. So when I had these realizations of, wow, like let's say you go to the grocery store and someone you've never met in your life just starts accusing you of something or starts yelling at you, blaming you, like, what? Like, I don't even know you. It's just them. It's the way they view life. Maybe somebody was mean to them when they were a kid, and therefore they have this image that all people do this, or all people are cheating them, or cutting in line from them, or screwing them over, or they're not listening to them. Okay, you could be in a relationship where you totally listen to someone. If you look away for a split second, like, see, you never listen to me. And you're like, I've been listening to you for 2 hours. What are you talking about? And you could repeat back to them verbatim what they've been talking about. But because they have this image, this belief, this filter, essentially is what it is, from maybe their first relationship or childhood or whatever, any little sign goes, oh, see, you haven't been listening to me. And you're like, I always listen to you. In fact, her friends tell you all the time, God, that guy's a really good listener. All I'm saying is this, the freedom that you get when you realize, okay, it's not only freedom, but it gives you something else. Okay, let's talk about narcissist abuse. So in the last 4, 5, 6 years, a lot of your intuition started picking up, but you didn't really know why. All of a sudden, you knew something about this guy or this girl. You absolutely knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, and they could feel it, like, oh shit, they know. Here's why. On some level, you started realizing what they're accusing you of is what they're doing. And that's one thing we do learn about narcissist abuse. It's all over online. Narcissists will accuse you of doing to them the very thing they've been doing to you. Now, for me, this realization of understanding that people are always talking about either who they are or something that happened to them when they were a child and they're projecting it out, I started realizing, this has nothing to do with me. And I would just walk away. Like, I don't even... See, here's the deal. If you try to argue with an actual filter that they have, do you know how hard it is in therapy? Like, actually, if someone came to me and they had a filter, number one, we have to find it. We have to discover, like, what is this? Like, what's causing this problem? Number two, then we can get rid of it. This could be done in 1 to 3 sessions. It's very possible. Now, these filters are essentially, there are egos. You're not really seeing the whole of reality. You're seeing through this filter, which changes the color. So, okay, I have some yellow glasses right here, some sunglasses that I bought a long time ago because I think they're cool. What they do is they make everything super bright. So I can ride around at night with these things on, and it lights things up to at least twice as bright as they normally are. So they're yellow, and everything looks yellow. Right? Well, if I'm holding an orange in front of it, well, it doesn't look orange. It looks yellow when I look through the glass, which is actually a form of a filter. So it changes the color. So is the orange actually yellow? No, it's actually orange. Now, the deviousness of this is people that really, really see yellow are going to scream and holler like, what are you insane? Are you crazy? It's yellow. And they're going to argue to death because that's what they're really seeing. They don't realize they're looking through a filter. Now, being an NLP trainer and an Ericksonian hypnotherapist, well, that's what we do for a living. We get people to see what they're doing. We get people to lower their filters and see reality and go, oh shit, that's not the way it is at all. And then they begin to realize, like, oh, this is a belief I'm looking through. This is a value. This is a rule that I took on when I was a little kid. See, a lot of your beliefs and rules that you live by and think are right, they're just something you heard when you're a kid. You never once even thought, do I actually agree with this? Is this something that I actually believe? Is this a rule that I actually like? No, you just took it on because you went to a certain church, or you grew up in a certain family, and well, that's just the way it was. Self-reflection, looking within, discovering your beliefs and your values and your rules and the way you go through life, it's a really hard thing to do, especially if you're not working with an NLP trainer. Because like even right now, a lot of people, now I've gone over this subject quite a bit. It's been about 9 months or a year or more ago, but even if you're listening to this right now, you don't really know what I'm talking about. You're kind of getting an idea like filters, like, okay, beliefs are filters, and that's essentially your ego. So you're looking through this small little thing, and it changes the actual reality outside of your mind and outside of your body. That's about all you know, though. And you also know, like, oh, so we can see these things and become conscious of them. And that's the idea of being conscious, is to be aware of the very things that are holding you back. A phrase I came up with years ago is your ego is the very thing that's going to keep you from having what you want. This is why you need to go through this self-discovery process to go, okay, so what's holding me back? I'm telling you right now, the more you begin to clear these egos, these filters that you have, the easier life becomes. The more you accomplish things, the more you get through things where you'll have a belief like, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to college. Or I can't go to college because in 8th grade science I got a D. Or some of these beliefs don't even make sense, and that's what happens when you start to look at them. You're like, that doesn't even actually make any sense, and that's not real at all. Now, there's a series of videos I did, I believe it was the beginning of this year, might have been last year, but it was about complex equivalence and other programs that we have that are on complex equivalences. This means that. And people, this is how they will trick you. Like that guy in that video. Well, when people's eyes change color based on their mood, this means that. And when the minute I heard that, I thought, oh, this is bullshit. Now, because he believes that, anytime someone's eyes change colors and they happen to change their moods, he's going to see it's true. But he could talk to 100 people in a row whose eyes change color and have always changed colors when he was talking to them. And his eyes saw it, but his conscious or unconscious mind didn't. I should say his conscious mind didn't recognize it because he has a belief that this means that. And since it's not happening, it doesn't register at all. In fact, he didn't even notice. And that's the problem with beliefs. They only see what they want to see. And that's why trying to argue with someone who's looking through a filter, through a belief, it is a waste of time because they can't see anything but through this filter. No matter what you hold in front of these yellow glasses, green apples, orange apples, pink apples, blue apples, they're all gonna look yellow. You can hold a red Ferrari in front of it. Do you get my point? It doesn't matter unless you have the skills and the skill set and abilities to take off that filter, to take off these sunglasses. They're going to look at you like you're nuts. They're going to look at you like you're either dumb, deaf, blind, or just stupid. All right, now here's the really cool thing, and I said this just a little while ago. For me, when I became really, really conscious, like, wait a minute, why is this person saying this to me? This isn't true at all. I literally will take like a half a step back and I'll pull my head back and I'll look at them like, oh, they're talking about themselves. They're not talking about me at all. That's when the game changed for me. When I started seeing that, and this is why I can listen to people saying stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, really? Okay. Because normally I'd be like, no, that's not true. And I'd get really defensive. Now I'm like, oh, okay, well, if that's the way you see it, good luck with that. And I will literally say that. And sometimes I'll just think in my head and just walk away like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But here's the thing. They shared with me what they think of me. That is an empowering experience. Another thing you'll notice is I'm trying to I can't think of anything specific right now, but I can think back in high school, there's this guy that would always say something about people. It wasn't just one person. It was always about like 9 out of 10 people. And as I look back now, like, that had nothing to do with him because all those people were completely different, but he didn't see that. He saw them, oh, they're all like this. Like, they're not all like that. See, what I'm trying to share with you is something very simple. People are always sharing with you who they are, and that's the perspective you need to start looking at. You need to just look at people for who they are, period, end of sentence. Just hear every word, listen to everything they say. They're sharing with you who they are. Receive it. See it, hear it, feel it, listen to it, and know, oh, this is who they are. All right, let me give you a black and white case. So empaths, one of your problems is you always want to see the good in people. That's one of our beliefs. It's not true, it's not good for you, and it's not healthy. And one thing I teach people is like, you need to see people for who they are, good and bad, right and wrong, left and right, in and out, up and down. You need to see them for who they are. Both the black and the white, the colors, the non-colors, the bright colors, the dim colors. See everything and make your decision from there. And one of the ways you can see people and know people is by listening to what they're saying. They're sharing who they are. Just like you were sharing who you are. You made up an excuse every time a narcissist hurt you. Every time a narcissist set you up, screwed you over, stabbed you in the back, talked bad about you, and on and on. He's like, well, they didn't really mean it. Well, they were probably in a bad mood, or someone probably hurt their feelings at work today, and they're just in a bad mood. You're a really good person. You're a sweetheart. You are a kind person. So stop doing that and just start seeing people for who they are. You're going to get along a lot better. Well, now let's do the other side of this. Well, what do narcissists do? Well, they see everything bad in every single person. Everything's wrong. Everything's bad. They're accusing people of stuff all the time. That's who they are. Make your decision based on what you're seeing, hearing, and feeling from that person. Okay, I'm going to give you another real life example. So when I was younger, a friend of mine, pretty wise dude, he had said, look, when you go on a date with someone and you're first getting to know them, pay really close attention to everything they say on the first 3, 4, 5 dates. I'm like, why? He goes, because they're going to tell you who they are, what they are, and what they're going to do to you. I was like, what? He said, have you ever been on a date with a girl and she kept talking about how her sorry, I got interrupted. So he goes, have you ever been on a date with a girl and she would just go on and on about how this guy cheated on her, how her high school boyfriend, her second high school boyfriend, and then the boyfriend the summer after high school, the boyfriend in college, the next boyfriend, and how they're all cheaters, and she's always getting cheated on, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. He goes, you're the next one in line. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, she's telling you what's going to happen. She's going to accuse you and tell all her friends and family and the next guy she dates that you were a cheater. I was like, well, why would she do that? And he goes, Mike, because that's the way she is. And I was like, well, that's messed up because that's life. But here's the funny thing. Now, by the way, this works both ways. This isn't just for women. So I'm a guy, and that's I have to say that because I'm a guy. So if you're a girl, it's the other way around. It could be a guy saying this to you, okay? So it was here's the thing. While he was telling me this, I was thinking, well, yeah, why would somebody do that? I was having memories of people that I dated, and they literally told me the first, second, third, fourth date, like, this guy cheated, that guy cheated, rawr. And I'm like, oh, wow, she did do that. And then next thing you know, she's accusing me of that. Well, after he told me this, here's where the light bulb went on and things changed. I went on a date with someone and she started pulling this stuff, saying, "Oh, my ex was a bad guy. He hurt me. He was mean." And I'm thinking, "Oh no, I'm the next one on the list." Oh, and so I kept it really politically correct and, "Oh, nice, okay, y'all." Gave her a hug goodbye and stuff, and then I just didn't return her calls anymore. So here's the deal. You really need to start listening to people. This applies to business meetings. This applies to clients. This applies to everyone. They're going to tell you who they are. Pay attention and believe them. Listen to what they're saying and believe them. That's it for this video. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you noticed my videos have become a lot lighter. Remember how dark it was with all the narcissist stuff? Man, I'm glad I got out of that. So another thing I realized, a lot of you guys are moving on. You're healing. I actually got a message from two people. One was posted on this channel how they're at the end of their healing journey and they're moving on. So this channel's moving on as well. Alright guys, click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And now there's a new way that you can make a donation to this channel. If you click on the three buttons to the right, the next image that will pop up is this one. Hold on. So then you can click on the heart with the $sign that says thanks, and you can donate money that way. So now that I'm an official YouTube partner in a partnership program, now this is one of the benefits. Or you can there's a PayPal link right there in the description box, and you can leave a donation from there too. I'm going to check, make sure that's still there. Hold on. Yes, it's down there with a little red heart now. I changed that recently. So the PayPal link is still there. You can send me direct cash through there, because through the YouTube thing, it takes like 48 hours or so. Someone actually just made a donation to this. It was €50, which is like $57 US. I was really shocked. So it was Gamble. Oh, hold on. It was Gamble Joe Daniel. I want to say thank you very, very much. I do remember you posting in the past. So here's what he wrote when I said thank you. So I said, thank you. I'm not sure, but I think you just gave me some money. Thanks. This is a first. You're awesome. And he said, You're welcome. I'm on the end of my healing journey and your videos helped me here and there. Thank you. Thanks. Your video popped up and you now have a donation button. So that's a donation button that he clicked. So another person that is moving on is Victoria. She had sent me a little silver, what do you call it, a little silver thing, which is very nice. It was actual silver she sent me. And I think what I'm trying to share is this. These things, when you do this, it lets me know how much impact that I'm having on people's lives. It lets me know, like, wow, because I'm thinking, why would this guy send me that much money? And it's because he's like, you know, when he responded, like, I'm at the end of my healing journey, I'm having to assume, like, oh, my videos probably helped him along quite a bit. You know, part of the reason why I kind of stumbled in this channel for the last month or two, I am going through a huge change with my website. I'm actually making a rechange. I'm kind of reverting a little bit, but I found my message a lot better. That's part of the reason I put a lot of time over there. But the other part was I didn't realize how much impact I've had on you guys' lives until really recently. Like when Victoria sent me that money, she sent me an email stating how much it's helped her. And it was at I don't know if she used the word important point in her life, but it was a pretty intense point in her life when she found my videos. So I want to thank you too, Victoria. And I also want to thank, well, obviously I want to thank Gamble Joe Daniel. I also want to thank Diane from the 209. It's been a while since we've talked, but I also want to thank you too. You guys have really helped me realize the impact this channel's had on your lives. So thank you very much. And by the way, you guys, make comments on my videos if they do have an impact, because it helps me to continue on, it really inspires me, and it helps other people to tune in more. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you for listening. If you did like the video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you want, you can go ahead and make a donation to support this channel. There is a brand new thank you button, and there's also a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.